Hey guys, I'm coming to you from the goat pen. Just wanted to give you a little information update, and I want to talk to you a little bit why goats are perfect for a homesteader. And there's many reasons. We're in the 40s today. We were in the low 20s this morning when we got up. And we're struggling a little bit because we haven't gotten all the insulation into the cabin. But it's nice and warm in there right now, and we'll probably do better tonight. It won't be as cold. Our finished goat shed, I believe I already showed that on a video. We've had a small problem. The goats do not want to go in this shelter at night. So if you follow me, you know I had some of these produce bags from their pellets and stuff that we buy to supplemental feed them. We had that around the door to close this door off more. And we believe they did not like it, so we took it down, and they've been in and out of here the whole time we're working on it. Basically, what we did this morning, you see the ground is now cleared up of most of the hay and manure. And what happens as they come in and out, they drag hay in and out, and it adds up. We took all the deep bedding out this morning, and we cleaned their main sleeping stall out. And the one next door does not need it because it has not been slept in yet or used at all. Somebody's being really bucky today. The cold air makes him really frisky. He plays more than the girls. And no babies. She's still very pregnant. So the only thing I can figure out is the breeding that we know happened for sure did not take. And she was probably bred a couple weeks later when she came back into season. And she's definitely pregnant, guys. They both are. It's just when are they due, because little Romeo here, he's in with them all the time. One of the things that most goat breeders do not recommend is keeping your buck with your does. As new goat owners, we're learning all our lessons the hard way. Now, reasons why you want goats on your homestead. One is, see all that forage back there? We would like some of our woods to be open and be able to traverse through them and just enjoy having the woods around and maybe see some deer walk through them once in a while. We have seen it, but I think we have the potential to see more. Yes, I'm being shook. Look at this, guys. He's worse than a dog. He's trying to push me off his pedestal. I'm sitting on their climbing thing here. But they are great foragers. Absolutely spectacular foragers. Do not let them forage where you value any of your shrubs or trees. The second reason is self-sustainability. If you maintain a small flock or small herd, I'm not sure if it's a herd or a flock, probably herd. If you maintain a small herd of goats, you need to maintain a buck as well. And this goes to self-sustainability. The buck produces the breeding, which produces your future goats, whether they be bucklings, doelings. Those are your future for your homestead. Without a buck, I think you're overlooking one of the key components to growing your homestead. And if the shit hits the fan, yes, I'm being very blunt here. If that happens and you don't have a buck with your herd, there is no guarantee you're going to be able to get a buck. And the next thing is, can you sustain your goats in milk for any length of time? I think the average is maybe a year to sustain a goat in milk. I have seen some people who've been going longer. I believe Weedham and Reap, her one Nubian, is going into 2 years of milk, maybe more. But that is not the norm. That is unusual. And her Nubian is not giving her enough milk for her family. So that's something to think about. Self-sustainability. Now, the other thing to think about, okay, these guys are going to have babies, at least 2 here and possibly 3 here. She's showing already, and she's not due till April. That's 5 kids. Look at Dad. he's making sure our babies have their forage. Now, these guys can't get to fresh forage yet because we haven't got the pastures fenced in. So we provide them with green forage every single day. Is it a little work? Yes, but guys, we don't have to go far for it. It's right there. When you have all these babies being born, if you want to keep the doelings for breeding, that's great, because if you breed them, you get milk and you get more babies. Or your options are meat. In a worst case scenario, you could be growing your own meat on your homestead to provide for your family. And goats seem to breed pretty prolifically. And I think the sustainability is very strong, having a small dairy / possible meat cross goat, or even finding a goat that would be what we call dual purpose. They could be used for meat or dairy. My goats are both. All my goats here are from dairy lines. But in a worst case scenario, there's no reason why you could not butcher and eat one of these goats. They all have meat on. Whether it's a lot or a little, it's still meat. Most people would probably say I could never eat my goats. Well, you might not eat your breeding herd, but if you don't get attached to the kids as they're coming in, then you could definitely butcher and eat some of your little bucklings or even little doelings. It wouldn't hurt, but improve your situation. To me, this is short-term sustainability, emergency meat. Definitely milk, butter, cheese. It's all possible with goat's milk. At that point, I mean, you all know what my property looks like. There is no pasture. There is no way to have a pasture at this point in our homesteading journey. And I don't know down the road, even if we clear this one area, that it will be a sustainable pasture. It might be sustainable forage for goats. It takes a lot to build pastures, a whole lot. So goats, in my scenario, are definitely the way to go. We are a little bit of, I don't know if we call ourselves lactose intolerant, but we definitely have issues eating too much dairy because we go right into major sinus problems. So by cutting out everything but cheese is the only thing we still consume, we have reduced our sinus problems hugely. Now, our goal is to hopefully milk one of these girls, see if we like goat's milk. If we do, we're going to be using that as our milk source, and cheese and butter. So here's your purposes. You got your property maintenance crew right here. You got your meat crew right here. You got your dairy crew right here. How much more sustainable do we need? My goats will forage more than they will eat hay if the forage is readily available. They can be very inexpensive to keep. Now, one of the things most people do not know about goats, they are not native to our country. Especially the goats we tend to have on our farms. Now, are there mountain goats? Yes. But they're mountain goats. You don't see those mountain goats kept on a homestead. And when they're mountain goats, they're climbing ridges and stone wall faces, and they're able to nibble on mineral deposits that we couldn't access as a homesteader. So one of the things that you have to do when you have goats is mineral supplements. You need to provide selenium, copper, and zinc are the 3 key components. But right now I'm doing a general mineral overall supplement for these guys. So that is one of the costs involved in keeping a goat. You have to make sure they have the proper nutrient balance. They are cute to watch. Right now they're very busy. They love when you give them the greens. One of the benefits to goats is entertainment. Oh my gosh, guys, these goats are so funny. And I'll just sit, in fact, I have a chair up near where they sun themselves. I'll sit up there just to relax a little bit and watch the goats. And they do get super tame. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know these goats were not super tame when we got them. And you know that we handle them on a daily basis. Everybody gets handled. Even Big Mama. She went through a phase in this pregnancy. It's like, don't touch me, don't touch me. And it's like, no, 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 no. Look down here. Troublemaker. Go bug the girls. See, it lightens your day. And I can tell you, having these goats has motivated me to get up out of my chair and move. Moving is helping me heal my back. I am so much better than when we first moved here back in May. Goats do require a steady supply of water. We have a rain catch water. That's something to note. If you can do rain catch versus your well water or city water, your goats will benefit greatly from that, because it's a more natural water source for them, and there's nothing harmful in there that will deplete their mineral balance in their bodies. Some well water will affect your goats' overall health and their ability to absorb the minerals to the extent that they need to. So we have decided we don't have a well. We are off-grid, so we use rainwater for our own personal use, and our goats get that rainwater as well. To me, this is a no-brainer system. I mean, we built 3 pallet houses. This is our 3rd one we've built. This extra room we added to this one. We've had the rain barrels when we moved up here, so we brought them with us. We had leftover rain gutter. We had leftover tin from our roof, and this is angled. I don't know if you can see it. It's angled high up there, a little lower here, so the rain comes down here, hits that, drops, and then I got a spigot. Pilot, you're always in my way, dude. I got a spigot here, and I keep their water bucket right there. So it's just a matter of coming out. You see the ice? Look at that ice, guys. This is Florida. We're not supposed to have ice. Look at that. But yeah. I think he'd eat the camera if I left him. He is a very entertaining goat. The other day, he was up on his stump. He jumped. Oops. Don't you buck me. Mommy pull your ear if you do. Anyway, he jumped off of there and he twisted and he almost landed on his head. And I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my God, you're going to hurt yourself. But he's being a goat. So there's a lot of benefits to having these guys on the homestead. One of the ones I haven't even mentioned is manure, manure, manure. If you're homesteading, unless you have quite a lot of animals, manure is always going to be in a short supply. So when we cleaned out this shed, this is Miss Oreo. We cleaned out this shed, which was full of hay and manure. Look how round she is. Let's see if we can get a view from behind. She doesn't like when I come up behind her. She's got a little bulge going on. They've been eating a lot, so her left side is really showing there. Don't you bite me, you little turkey. He can be a handful, but he's fun. He's small. He's probably a Nigerian dwarf size. He has the Nigerian dwarf look, but he is an actual F2 mini Nubian. And he's small enough I can handle. He's super strong though, guys. So I have to be very careful with him that his play doesn't hurt me in my back. These are great pets for homestead children. They're very easy to take care of. Your homestead children can take care of them. And this is some of the end results of what they do when they're foraging here. Some of the stuff is just, most of it here is just bare bones. They're even stripping bark. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can get over here. They even strip the bark, which will kill these little trees, and that's okay with us. These are invasive and a very invasive species. So basically what we're using these goats for is to eliminate a lot of this invasive species. I mean, just look at this. This is all stuff that was so thick you couldn't see through it. Now you can see almost 4 tree lines deeper into the woods than what you could before. And their fence line is right back there. You can see a post? That's their fence line back there. There are some they'll never get to, and that's okay. Those they'll never get to. It's a beautiful day here. Absolutely gorgeous day in Florida. A little cold, but we'll take the cold. It's better than the overwhelming, and the heat here can be just horrible. Even in North Florida, the heat can be very oppressive. So I'm hoping I covered everything, but the benefits to having goats on the homestead are huge, in my opinion. And it's just my opinion. I'd love to hear any positive feedback from you guys and what your thoughts are on having goats on the homestead, whether it's meat goats, dairy goats, or dual-purpose goats. I'd love somebody to give me some information on a dual-purpose goat that would cover both a decent tasting dairy milk, I guess you call it dairy. The dairy goats. A goat that would be decent tasting milk and also be a good meat goat. That would be interesting to learn about. I'm always learning, guys. It's a never-ending learning curve for us. Our next big adventure is probably going to be meat rabbits. We're getting to the point where we're going to have to decide how we're going to do the actual rabbit housing. That's our first step. And then from there, we need to decide where we put that rabbit housing, because rabbits do not do good in the heat. So we want to put it in a nice, shady, cool spot, and we're not sure where that's going to be yet. And then we're waiting for one letter from the VA, and that would be for Jim to get a shot in his knee. They put something in his knee for his knees. And when that comes through, we're probably going to make arrangements with a rabbit breeder to go pick up some rabbits while we're in that area, because it's over an hour's drive from here. So we have some plans. We have lots of projects. You can see we've got stuff all over the place, but it's all a project. You can see cinder blocks back there. That's because we're deciding how we're laying out the shed. So we got to go pick up more cinder blocks, and oh, it's just never ending. First of the month is the first week of the month is our project week. We go in and we have a budget that we spend every month on our projects. Whether it's a project for the house. He's up on the stump. Whether it's a project for the house, the animals, it's always something. Alright guys, this video is getting a little on the long side. Hopefully this update is interesting and you all find something that you can learn from it. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And yes, Pilot is an absolute baby doll. Yep, always tasting me. He's a little goober boy. You see where I get my joy. Alright guys, like, share, subscribe. Don't forget, hit the little bell so you get notifications when I post my next video. Take care and God bless.